few months ago, we decided as a team to hold a workshop of TEDx organizers. And this workshop took place yesterday. We have among us here a few TEDx organizers. Could you just please rise for a few seconds if you are in the audience right now? Come on. 2 here, 2 there, 2, 3 or 4 there, 2 there. Right. So these are TEDx organizers from across the country. And the idea here for us is that we'd like for this TEDx community to make better and better events so that we can make sure that if you go to a good event, you feel inspired and compelled to go to another one and another one and another one and keep these conversations going. As Jacqueline was saying, using smartphones and handheld devices, they actually don't really bring us together sometimes, at least for not these kind of forums. Now, I'm very, I won't shun this word away. I'm very proud to have with us here someone who is very important to the TEDx community. And I'm going to call him to the stage. Please give a round of applause to Jay Herratti. He is the TEDx Executive Director coming from New York City. Have a microphone there. Welcome to the stage, Jay. Is the microphone working? Yes.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get a hug, no?
Oh, of course. Good hug, absolutely. Thank you. Is the microphone on already?
Good morning, good afternoon.
No, not yet? No?
2, 3.
Okay,
Hello,
microphone?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Not there yet. Maybe we have to switch something on here. Maybe.
I should know that, right?
Okay, no switches here. Okay, does it work?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, we'll wait because this conversation won't spread like that.
I can also take one of these, put one on quickly if you want.
Oh, there's another one there. Okay.
How's the, oh, excellent.
Hey.
Okay, hi.
Excellent, excellent. So Jay actually came on purpose here to Porto to be with us yesterday and to live this event with us. And it's going to be with us for most of the rest of the day. And I can't let this opportunity to go past without asking you a few questions.
Sure.
I'm genuinely interested in knowing them, although I already know, well, I have an idea about what Jay is going to say, roughly. But I do have a few questions. I mean, first of all, before actually asking the question, we do have to be aware that this is not a TED event, this is a TEDx event. So this is locally organized. So this is not organized by Chris Anderson, by yourself, by everybody else. You probably saw, or at least some of you saw that message at the beginning, like that 2-minute video showing that this is a TEDx event. And like TEDx events, there are plenty of them around the world. And this is what Jay is leading with his team. So first of all, Jay, what's the main objective of TEDx events? Can you just give us a quick...
Yeah, I mean, as you describe, it's a free license that the TED conferences provides to people from all over the world to create a TED-like experience in their own community. The mission for TEDx is the same for TED. It is about discovering ideas that are worth spreading. And so we do it through the TED conferences once or twice per year, but TEDx organizers do it around the world every day of the year in 170 countries, including this one right here.
Fantastic. So, and how many roughly TEDx events do we have around the world? I mean, in different locations?
So the number is quite extraordinary. Across all these countries, last year we had 3,600 events. And so the better way to remember that is that there are on average 10 TEDx events taking place somewhere around the world. And for me, it's extraordinary because as I get to visit events in different parts of the world, it's impossible to not see how we are all so much more similar than we are different. Right? Every event feels a little bit different, but the humanity that we share is extraordinary.
Absolutely, yeah. We do have this shared humanity. Yeah. Thank you. So, one of the things I'd like to ask you, because we have sometimes many questions from the public about this, what kind of TED Talks, or sorry, what kind of content does TED or TEDx events should have or shouldn't have?
So in many ways, the more topics and the more content we have, the better, right? Both TED and TEDx conferences are designed to be multidisciplinary. So they're not about any one specific topic. We bring in ideas from different disciplines and we let them interact with each other. So your creativity, each one of your events, TEDx events, is curated independently. You decide what you put on stage. And when we see them all coming back together to the TED office in New York, we see 20,000 ideas a year, and I can tell you that they're on every possible topic. But we ask you to stay away or be very careful with 3 types of content, right? Anything that has to do with religious content, with commercial content, and with political content. And that doesn't mean that there are not good ideas in these fields, but they tend to be often kind of blend in with a dogma of sorts, and maybe have stronger narratives as opposed to being more fact-based. And so we recommend that you kind of stay away from that. Yep. And one other thing that we always have you be thinking about is be careful with what quote-unquote motivational or inspirational talks. Ones where a story of a person and how they become a certain obstacle. Always be sure to have an idea at the core of a talk like that.
Absolutely. This is something that we're quite proud about, that we do not hold talks which are purely motivational or purely inspirational. I mean, we've done that in the past. We've learned our lesson and then, proceeded, right?
The person in my office says that if the speaker on stage has to use the word inspiration, then the talk is not inspirational.
Exactly. Yeah, it just ruins the whole thing, right? Now, I would like to, can you give us 1 or 2 examples of things that have come out from the TEDx community that have either sprang around to the world or maybe that has been adopted by TED itself?
Yeah, sure. So, in April, in about 2 weeks, we're going to hit the 20,000 events that we've seen in TEDx since the beginning of the program. So when we look at innovations from TEDx, there's so many of them, and too many of them in many ways to mention. I mean, there have been events on airplanes, on trains, in Antarctica, and under bridges, on boats. I mean, there's been a lot of these. But when I really look at TEDx events as a whole, and I see this here in this event today, TEDxers innovate with activations that generate a strong sense of community. I actually loved hearing the talk we just heard, because TEDx events are both about the content that's on stage, but is about building and strengthening communities. So the things that we see at TEDx event and we copy are all the different exercises that you do to create a sense of resonance and connectedness. So everything from hugging to light shows by giving people different bracelets and creating different shows, activations and games for networking, all these kinds of things. That's where TEDxers really innovate.
Excellent. I hope we can get some of these innovations out there as well. So I'd like to have a couple of deeper questions. One of them is, TED conveys this idea about a world community, about, as you said, this shared humanity, about a world without borders. And this literally underlies every TEDx organizer, TED organizer that I've met ever. But there's this thing that, you share so many values, which are respective of race, of creed, or nationality, but somehow, and this is my question, I don't want to lead you on, I just wanted to see what your thoughts are on this. Do you think that this is somehow threatened by Trump, by Brexit, by all these populist movements that are happening around the world?
Yeah, yes, and I guess when we at TED don't have an official policy, right, around to say we think globalism good, nationalism bad, right? We don't have an official political platform, but because we are in the business of ideas, and we see ideas that in many disciplines that talk about a lot of the problems and opportunities that we have in the world, we have formed the point of view that the best way forward is through collaboration. And through openness. And some of the strongest ideas and innovations that we see happen because we are connected, when we are connected across cultures, across borders, and when we work together. And so, yes, we are in various parts of the world concerned about what we see, but I think for us it just means that we have to really stick with what we're doing and get re-energized, because it matters now more than ever. And I think if we continue to do this, and you continue to do that, this is really, TEDx does this much more than TED, because you touch so many more communities directly, and the ability to show what can happen when we work together.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jay. One more question. So What's the future? What's the future like for TED? Where is it heading right now?
So we continue to work on discovering and spreading ideas worth spreading. But what's happening for us now, 2017, 2018, I think we'll be occupying our minds with the same things that you're occupying your minds here today. And that is truth. So your theme today has the word truth in it. Your speaker, Pedro, I think spoke just a couple of talks before me about what is true and what is real. I was just looking on my phone, a conference, a TEDx conference in Oxford next week. The theme is truth. Yeah. And I think many people at TEDx and at TED are now trying to define what is true, what is fact-based, what is the real news, what is not the real news. TED Talks have the power to change minds. Not many things today can really change minds, and we have the power to do it. So being able to define truth and then help change minds, that's what we're up to.
Thank you so much, Jay. It's great having you.
Thank you.
Thank you.